Yeah.
Good afternoon.
G'day. How you going?
Tell us your name
Peter McQueen.
and what are you doing?
Well, I'm here really to support my wife Laurie. So she's kind of been associated with Mimbar, from the start, you reckon, Jack? Pretty much.
2009, I reckon,
Yeah.
which is pretty much close to it. Yeah.
So she's kept this financial ship afloat, has she not?
She has.
Yeah. So I'm
Now,
very proud of what she's been able to do there.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're really proud of Laura Lee and the support that she does give us. Now, you're here for the gathering that's been happening over the last couple of days. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, I really didn't know what to expect. I was really excited. I've never been to Bateman's Bay, so that was going to be really good. And I had no idea what to expect, really. I know a little bit about Mimbar through Laurie and the work she's done with you guys and hearing from you and Lisa about things that you do. But I was just more than pleasantly surprised. I've just become incredibly enthused by what I've experienced here the last couple of days. There's been this phrase that's been part of my life, I think, for a couple of decades now, and the whole notion of closing the gap. And when I first heard that phrase, it kind of excited me. I thought, there's a way of encapsulating something that's on my heart and a kind of a way of measuring it too. But it's become a bit of a double-edged sword because, we hear year in, year out that the gap isn't closing. And it gets a little bit disappointing, especially when you're always trying to look for the positives. And I reckon there's a huge lesson in that. You always promote the positive rather than harping on the negative and sending people on a guilt trip. But when that bloody gap doesn't close, it can get quite disheartening. But I came here, and what I've experienced here the last couple of days, I've seen groups who just going about their business, being themselves, doing their work, and to a man and a woman, they're closing that gap. And okay, maybe in some situations the gap's still wider than it should be. But I tell you what, without these guys, the gap would just be a huge canyon. It'd just be a chasm. And the point of this gathering, these people are supporting each other. They're hearing each other's stories, and you hear about things like Hippie, and you hear about the blokes from Mapoon and the work that they're doing up there in health and other areas, and just so many other groups. And listening to their stories and seeing them support each other, and you realise, hang on, this is a really vital thing, this gathering. It's a time for people to come and recharge their batteries, get enthused from each other, learn from each other, and it's a monumental task to keep chipping away at these huge issues that's causing this gap, and to see people doing their best to close it, just as I say, doing the thing they've been called on to do. And I think a gathering like this is absolutely essential because we all need to stop, recharge the batteries, be inspired by others. And that's the other word that came to mind over this couple of days is inspirational. The stories, the people themselves are just so inspiring. So I just have to fully endorse everything that Mimbar is doing in setting up these gatherings, plus all the other work they do, obviously. But these annual gatherings, I think may they long continue.
Can I just ask you a quick question? So
you want to get a word in, Jack?
I would like to, yeah. So over the years, we've had 9 gatherings before this one, and they've all been male. So we took a bit of a leap into the future, I guess, a few years ago, and started working with men and women. What do you think about this gathering that we've now been able to bring men and women together to work together?
Yeah, I first heard that, and I had kind of mixed thoughts about it. I thought there's something about having men separated and women separated, having their own gatherings. But then some wise person, it may well have been you, Jack, went on to talk about how it's for the future. It's coming together for the sake of the kids and the grandkids and the generations to come. And that made a lot of sense. And I haven't really experienced the men's gatherings. I've just heard about them secondhand. But I just think this has been a tremendous success. And honestly, this afternoon to walk around and see the men getting involved in the weaving and the string making and stuff, there'll be some people who said maybe the men wouldn't have done that sort of thing. But they've embraced it.
I was actually told that, mate, that the men wouldn't get... I don't know who told me that, but someone told me that they wouldn't get involved. And I said, yeah, you'd be surprised.
Well, we can't be always right all the time, can we? But yeah, it's just really great to see these blokes getting involved in that sort of thing. And the diversity of the presentations that we've had here have just been phenomenal. I must admit, as a person of faith, I always found the whole notion of meditation just a little bit strange. But again, the stuff that the good doctor put us through with some of the meditation things. And this morning we had a magnificent time with a walk and then some meditation on the beach. It's just so, I don't know, yeah, it just charges the batteries and just adds to the rich tapestry of all the work that's being done in this field.
So
And,
would you like to come back for our next one?
I'd love to come back for the next one. Lots of things that I want to do after this conference. So I've got to visit Mapoon, and I've got to be at the next one of these gatherings as well.
Yeah.
So
No
thank
worries.
you for
Thank
inviting
you,
me.
Peter.
It's been great to be here.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jack.